Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Continuing on with the 10 Commandments and the 10 Covenants, we've been calling them. So, again, the children of Israel have left Egypt and they're out in the middle of the desert here at Mount Sinai, and God is cutting a covenant with them. And he is sharing with them, here's the things that will make this covenant work. And I think I shared with you in the first during the first commandment, the angels are there present. So these other Elohim beings, these other spiritual beings are there to witness this covenant, which tells us that angels are holding account and keeping account of, they're the witnesses, God and humans, to this covenant. And they are the ones that are saying, hey, okay, Ron is keeping this covenant, that he's putting God first in his life, that he's not having carved images, that he is not taking God's name in vain. And so the first 4 covenants that I've shared with you all talk about this relationship with God and humanity, that we're to honor him, and it's all about honoring God, honoring us with the relationship, and God and us honoring him. The first 4 talk about the relationship with us and him in the spiritual realm, starting with the 5th commandment and then on through number 10. It's about humans dealing with one another. We need to understand something, that this is the Middle Eastern countries, more to this day even, operate in an honor-shame culture. It's not something that as Americans or, more modern cultures and societies that we're very familiar with. We hear the words honor and we hear the word shame. We think of them differently than they would have thought of them, but that's how they function. It's a different, so even people from a Middle Eastern or Indonesian or India, things like that, from those Far East kind of cultures, they're completely different when they come to this concept of honor shame. So they're going to read these scriptures even differently. So we really need to have a kind of an understanding of what the whole honor shame thing is all about. And we're to honor God in these first 4 covenants and not bring shame. That's why don't take my name in vain. Don't bring shame to the name is what he's saying. And so there's a way to view that and how we act, and we'd have to dig in deeper on that. So same thing here. The next commandment is honor I'm using the King James Version here, but honor your mother and your father. With that, God talks about coming the first blessing that he speaks of. With long life will you live. With long life will you be blessed. With long life will you be satisfied if we honor our parents. And so I think it's very unique because, again, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 all deal with relational issues between humans. So why wouldn't God start with that whole honoring aspect with our parents, with mothers and fathers, with our elders? There's something very powerful about honoring those who have laid a foundation for life. And even with, it's a very difficult thing in cultures and in society, because not all of our parents have been great parents. I happen to have had fantastic parents, mother and father, and my wife has had great parents, mother and father, and even our grandparents and how they were. And so all of that's been passed down through us, to us, and through us, that has blessed us tremendously in our lives. We were taught to honor them. And so there is a blessing that comes with that. There is something very powerful that comes with that. And this is the first commandment, again, that's talking about dealing with one another in this aspect of honoring each other. Think about this. What would society, and I've said this before, but what would society be like if we actually treated one another with honor and respect? If we actually, not only, as the first 4 commandments talk about, love God with all of our heart, soul, and mind. I'm now sharing New Testament scripture. We would love each other, honor each other, not bring shame upon each other, not attempt to hurt each other as humans, and look out for the better interest of other human beings, what would society be like? I mean, honestly, it would be literally heaven on earth. And so that's what God's trying to get at here. Starting with, even if your parents stunk as being parents and didn't do a great job, honoring them of that they brought you in and gave you life, and that they, whether they by society standards deserve it, we honor them and we don't bring shame to them in our lives. God's saying there's a blessing there. And this is what begins and lines up the next 5 commandments. And next week, when I share this, I'm going to share all 6 through 10 all together, because they're all kind of the same concept here of dealing with one another. But I think it's so powerfully important for us to view and to look at and stop. Most of the issues in my life have come from dealing with people older than me that had a leadership role in my life, and at times not dealing with them well. And that bleeds into my life and causes me consternation or causes me pain. And God's saying here, listen, if I'll get that aspect right of having a spirit of humility and having a spirit of honor, and again, I happen to have had a great father and mother. There's a blessing that comes with it. So listen, think about that. Concentrate on that. Be blessed with it. I bless you with health and healing, wisdom and knowledge, power and prosperity, and the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit of God to be evident and flowing in your life. Have a fantastic week.